Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Stocks Around Us with me, Pizza. Guys, today's segment is going to be a little different from what we usually do. You see, I've been working for quite a few years now, and so right now, I've got some money saved up, and I'm starting to look at the different investment options that I have besides stock picking. Especially with so much going on in the world right now, the question is, what and how to invest? When you think about it, there are so many different markets and assets out there. So in these next few special episodes, what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the whole journey of what, when, where, and how to invest profitably. Starting with our first visit to Citigold, the wealth management center of Citibank, where today we're going to get an update on the economic outlook and what sort of asset allocation strategies to use in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us today is our special guest, Kun Don Jansupurin, Head of Retail Banking at Citibank. สวัสดีค่ะ Kun Don.
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
First of all, could you give us your take on the global and Thai economy and the investment opportunities in 2017?
Sure. I think 2017 will be another year of many uncertainties and volatility, right? I think everyone expects that the global growth will be higher than last year. Inflation will be picking up. So in developed market, the core inflation that last year stands at around 0.7, this year is likely going to be around 2%. So that would take off the pressure for all the easings effort that the major economies have been doing. In terms of commodities, we expect to see commodities continue to be supported by the current environment. Oil expect to continue to go up. And gold continues to be, maintaining at high level. So overall, we see that the opportunity for investment it definitely is there, but in terms of all the uncertainties that it surrounds, some diversification and portfolio action is required to safeguard the investment of our clients.
So what are some of the asset classes that you think are more favorable than others this year?
Sure. So if tying back to the economic outlook, right? In a rising rate environment, which we are currently entering, usually financial sector would be the sector that performs well. And in terms of the commodity, some of the countries that would benefit from the higher level of commodities, like the Latin America, would be an area that we could invest in. But again, I think investing in this current environment is not about picking one or two winners, but rather how do we have a balanced approach towards how we build the portfolio and so that it could grow efficiently in a less volatility for the client.
Right, and seeing that there's so many uncertainties and volatilities, like you said, what is your outlook on the different financial markets in the world? For example, in Thailand itself, in the US or the EU in particular?
Sure. The US, I think what President Trump will do in the next few months is something that everyone continues to keep a close eye on.
Right.
There's a lot of campaign rhetoric, which what would transpire in which fashion, I think is something that we'll have to continue to look at. But I think that the general view is that the domestic growth for US would pick up, and we expect some of the tax measures that Trump is likely going to implement will have a positive impact towards the listed company in the US. So we feel that equity in US would have some room to advance further. In Europe, valuation is very good at the moment, but there's a lot of political uncertainties coming up, many elections, also how would the Brexit take
Right.
place. So we remain cautious despite the valuation. In Asia, Citi House View prefers North Asia from a valuation point of view. In ASEAN, not Thailand in particular, but across ASEAN, the valuation is slightly higher than average in Asia. So in terms of playing Asia Pacific, we would tend to do like a broader Asia ex-Japan type of funds rather than picking a specific countries, which could be concentrating the risk a little bit too much.
So since Citibank is one of the top institutions for wealth management in Thailand, what advice would you give to the Thai investors in terms of investment strategies and asset allocation in 2017?
Well, as said, investing in the current environment requires vigilance and keeping a good diversified portfolio because there's a lot of uncertainties in the market. Here at Citi, we provide model portfolio to our clients. So depending on the risk level of our client, from conservative, moderate, aggressive, very aggressive, and specialized. So each of our clients would have different model portfolio that depends on their risk appetite. We also provide ongoing research tools that all of our clients across Asia Pacific use together, right? So Thai clients will have access to the same information that investors in other markets that we serve have access to. So because we feel that information is critical in making investment decisions. So those are the things that we focus on in terms of the model portfolio that we, just as an example, right? This year, the model portfolio focused on 55% equity, 7% cash, and the remainder in fixed income, of which equity we have like a portion that goes both Asia, ex-Japan, and US quite equally, and then 7% in Europe and 4% in Japan. So it will be a diversified portfolio, and we focus on having a variety of products that match each of the asset class so that there's variety and alternatives for our clients.
I see. So speaking of Thailand itself, in the equities market, are there particular sectors that investors should be focusing on in particular?
Yeah, I'm not a Thai market expert, and I think Citi as a whole, I think our value is to provide that global diversification to our client. Because when we looked at our clients, most of them would have a significant portion of their exposure in the Thai equity already. However, we see that Thailand, in the overall scheme of Asia, Thailand would be a country that we feel will continue to have picked up growth, and some of the sector would perform well. But again, in the overall portfolio, we like to have our client diversified also, especially if our client is already exposed heavily in the Thai equity through their other partners.
Right. So seeing that you provide many investment opportunities overseas, do you have any hedging against the risk of foreign exchange?
Sure. What we also provide is, when we talked about hedge goes both ways, right? Sometimes when our client is 100% exposed to Thai baht, but if Thai baht weakens, right, that's a financial loss also. So when we talk about investment, it's about how do we diversify also the currency of the holdings. We are the first and only bank that provides offshore direct investment. So our client could invest directly to offshore partners like BlackRock, UBS, JP Morgan, Lake Mason, PIMCO, Invesco. So and these funds would be in US dollar denominated. So from a total portfolio, client would have both onshore exposure, which is Thai baht. And within that Thai baht fund, some funds would be hedged, some funds would be unhedged, right? And our clients will also have the exposure direct in US dollar through those offshore funds. We also just recently launched a direct offshore bond investing. So just to give an example, direct bonds of, say, Apple Inc. or Disney or or even Citigroup Inc., right, is something that our clients could now purchase directly in Thailand without having to worry about remitting money out. And these two will have exposure in US dollar. And going back to the trend this year, right, we feel that obviously US economy would have a rising rate environment. There's a lot of policy that would pro domestic growth. So the likelihood of US dollar strengthening is quite high. Right. So we advise our clients to have a diverse portfolio which includes some proportion in the US dollar denominated assets so that we could, the client could also benefit from this currency trend.
Right. And seeing that Citibank is known to cater towards the higher net worth investors, do you have some sort of minimum amount of investment for the people who want to use the services of Citigold, for example?
Yes. Actually, we don't feel ourselves as being very high, and in fact, our Citigold threshold today starts at Thai baht 3 million, right? And we also have a segment called Citi Priority that starts from 1 million and above. So we feel that we like to add value to our clients by providing the platform similar to clients across Asia Pacific, that Citi is one of the biggest bank in the wealth management space in Asia, for Thai clients to enjoy the same platform, the same product sets, and the same quality advice. Yes.
So we'll be getting the international Citibank standard, obviously, for the investors.
Yes.
Lastly, what is Citibank's key investment principle?
I think client will have different preferences, right? And investment horizon for different clients are different. But one thing that I think is consistent across, and is something that we really believe, is the value of diversification, right? And when we talk about diversification, it's not only about having many type of asset class in the portfolio, but also the ability to pick what specific fund to put in each of the asset class. So let me give an example. We have 6 funds that are dedicated to a US equity, for example, 3 of which are Thai baht denominated onshore funds, the other 3 is US dollar denominated offshore funds, right? So in the environment where customer wants to pick whether a small mid cap might benefit more from the current market environment, or they may like the big cap, or the various different style of US equity, we would have a variety for clients to pick. Similarly, in Europe, we have more than 10 funds that are dedicated to Europe. In Japan, 6 funds, and in Asia, ex-Japan, we have close to 10 funds as well. So this is the value of diversification that we feel is really relevant, not only providing the model portfolio for clients who have a true diversification, but also provide the underlying selection of funds that are variety enough for clients to really take full benefit from. Secondly, I think investing is about making the best decision from information available. We pay a lot of attention in our regional and global research capabilities. So all of our clients will receive the most recent updates and research on a weekly and monthly basis. We invest in an online platform where our clients could go in and search all the funds that are available on our shelves and have the detailed information of each fund, down to the level of each the top 10 equity holdings, all the sectors that the fund is holding. So we believe that providing information is critical for all to take benefit from the product sets that we have. And lastly, it's about the focus on advisory, right? Because we could build the portfolio, we could have all the information, but equally important is the regular updates and regular conversation with relationship manager. So we have a schedule of regular portfolio review for our clients to really take stocks of how the portfolio is progressing and whether any adjustment or rebalancing is required. So I would say those are the 3 things that we focus a lot at Citi to make sure that our clients receive the best wealth management advice that they can.
Right well thank you so much for today ค่ะคุณดอน
Thank you ครับขอบ
ส
คุ
วั
ณ
สดี
ครับ
ค่ะ Ladies and gentlemen, that was Citibank. Join us again next time for more investor insights with Me Pizza. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm gonna open an account with Citigold. So I'll see you guys later.